This is your Mobile Minute. This is the numbers episode. We're going to try to get through as many as I can in 1 minute or so. Biggest number that we heard in the last little while is 10 billion. That's the number of apps that have been downloaded from Android's marketplace. 10 billion. They reached their 10 billionth app this week. Huge amount of numbers. Now, what they're talking about is certainly in the last quarter, 44% of applications that have been downloaded are Android-based, 31% iOS-based. This is a colossal number. Certainly, I think the stat is that for every one iOS user, there's 2.4 Android users. So Android is certainly showing its dominance, but 10 billion is incredible. They're at 1 billion downloads per month, and I think the growth is just on an accelerant. But that's pretty big. Now, there's still a skew in earnings. So when it comes to who's making the money in the app space, it still skews towards iOS by a significant margin. And Ovum is predicting that by 2016, which is ridiculous. 2016, who can predict that far? But we'll go with it. By 2016, Ovum is predicting that iOS will generate $2.86 billion in app revenue versus $1.5 billion for Android. And so that's about a $4.5 billion market by 2016, and that's just in those two operating systems. I don't think that takes into consideration the in-app purchasing aspect, which is where Android is will make a considerable amount of money. Free downloads, in-app purchasing, but big number, 10 billion for Android. I don't know what it means, quite frankly, but it's such a big number that we have to bring it up. Now, one of those apps is the Starbucks app. I just want to talk about this for a second because this is an incredible story as well. That Starbucks is doing $26 million in transactions. That's commerce through their mobile application, and that's where you go up and it's basically like a prepaid card on your smartphone. They launched that in January of 2011. In the full year almost that they launched, $26 million in transactions. Now, this isn't really about mobile commerce. This is literally mobile transactions. It's just replacing what their prepaid cards, but it's still very significant because it shows that they're offering enough for people to start to modify the way they use these devices, modify behavior in order to be able to bring this in. It opens up the opportunities for Starbucks to do quite a bit more. I said it before, but Starbucks is a litmus test for a lot of retailers. I think that they are early adopters when it comes to this technology, and we should be watching those guys to see what comes next from a mobile commerce, mobile transaction aspect. We'll see how these guys do. So big numbers, 10 billion, bring it down to about $4.5 billion in revenue by 2016 for these two operating systems, 10 billion Android apps, and then $26 million transacted through the Starbucks app within the store. Big numbers. This is your Mobile Minute.